Morning, day 4 of the crash diet experiment. Woke up this morning way more tired than I normally am, so I got a little bit extra sleep. I'm about to head into the bathroom for my morning check-in. Alright, so as you guys can see, that was easily my lowest weigh-in yet. I was 157 pounds. That's the lightest that I've been in a really long time in the morning. Usually my lowest weigh-in is right around 158, so to be around 157 is definitely pretty low. Woke up this morning feeling pretty tired, so I got a little bit of extra sleep. Yeah, no workout today or anything like that. I just got a lot of work to do at my office, so let's see how my energy stays up. Let's see how I feel midway through the day, and yeah, about to go through my morning routine, then I head into my office and get some work done. Alrighty, I wanted to check in midday and just give you guys a heads up on a few different things that I've noticed so far on day 4 of my crash diet experiment. The very first thing is that I have not been drinking nearly enough water. I don't know why that's been something that I've just kind of forgotten about, but that's something that I'm going to aim to remedy. I know that it's definitely probably been contributing to some of me not feeling as full as I possibly could off the foods I've been eating. So my goal is to get a minimum of 96 ounces of water per day. So to help with that, I have my handy dandy glass jar that I typically bring my coffee in. So I'll be refilling that with water a minimum of 4 times. And then also another thing that I've noted so far while doing this is I've also been way less productive at work. So it has been a little bit more difficult to concentrate, getting going on projects that I don't really feel super motivated to do out of the gates have been a little bit more difficult to start. I'm not sure exactly what that's from. It could be the calories, could be kind of the weather shifting, getting a lot colder here in Portland, but I've been from here my entire life, so it doesn't make sense that that would really have that much of an impact. Also, my mood has been a little bit down today. I'm typically a pretty positive, upbeat person. There's not a lot of stuff that really gets to me, but I've noticed that in this 4th day, my mood is definitely a little bit lower than it normally is. I'm not in as quite of a good mood as I typically am. So those are just a few things that I wanted to note. So I'm gonna show you guys the food that I'm gonna be eating today while I'm at my office up until I head back home and eat dinner. So I was extremely hungry when I very first got into the office today, and I had half of one of these sitting around, so I ate half of a Kirkland protein bar. For my lunch today, I have a salad probably as big as my head. So in the salad, we have greens, we have chickpeas, we have carrots. I added a lot more greens and a lot more red cabbage to kind of bump up the volume of the food and make it just a lot bigger so I would feel fuller for longer. Then for my snacks, I'm going to be having a lot of the typical suspects. So cucumber slices, celery, and then also apple as well to add in a little bit of something sweet and to provide a little bit of variety. Then to make sure that I'm hitting my protein numbers, I'm sure you guys are probably getting sick of seeing this, so I will probably eventually just stop showing it and start telling you about it. Cottage cheese mixed with tuna, and then having mustard in that has actually been something that's provided some flavor that I actually have learned to really like the taste of. So I'll probably continue eating that after I'm done with this whole experiment. But that's a food that I have planned so far for today until I get home. All that food together is probably going to put me right at about 1,000, maybe 1,100 calories. And then my meal at home will be something that's going to have a little bit of oatmeal, some veggies, probably another turkey burger, and more broccoli. So, yep, that's what I have planned so far. I got to go ahead and get cracking on some work, write a few different things, edit a podcast, write a newsletter. So I'm going to get to work on those, and I will keep you updated with anything else that I have going on throughout the day or any. Alrighty, so I just got back from the gym and made myself some dinner. While I was at the gym, I definitely noticed that I ran out of steam. I just didn't want to stay there nearly as long as I typically do. I definitely ran totally out of energy. I was a little bit lethargic. I just didn't feel like sticking around there very long. And I definitely would attribute that to the lack of food. So while I was there, I did probably 5 or 6 rounds on a heavy bag, kicking and punching, doing Thai boxing. And then in between each round, I would pick up a kettlebell or a dumbbell and take it for a farmer's carry down the mats, the course of the gym, and then back. So I did that about 5 or 6 different times. Nothing too crazy, but I also recognize I'm not going to be able to push myself as hard as I normally would with lower calories. So
Now that I'm back home, made some dinner. I'm gonna show you guys what I will be having for dinner tonight. So exact same thing pretty much as last night, just small tweaks to each one of them. So this is a turkey burger patty and then about 3 to 4 ounces of broccoli with a little bit of salsa on top of it to mix up the flavor a little bit. And then the other thing I'm gonna be having is what you guys probably have already seen a lot of, which is my high volume oats. So this is just oats, egg whites, and then I blended in some zucchini to give it a lot more volume. Tossed in a few drops of stevia to sweeten it up a tiny bit so it didn't taste quite as weird. Yeah, so that's all the food I have for today. That's all I'm gonna be eating. After this, I'm cutting myself off and probably just gonna drink a lot more water. I definitely did note that drinking more water started to help with things. Once I noted that and started to actually do it and drink more water, I started to feel fuller. I was, just had a lot more energy and basic things like that. So today, I definitely did feel a lot more fatigued than the previous few days. My energy, I had some dips throughout the day, but that's, I think, just going to be a common part of this. And then one of the biggest things was before I had eaten lunch, I noticed kind of my mood started to change a little bit. I started to feel a little bit down, and that was kind of odd because I'm typically a pretty upbeat and positive person. And then getting work done at my office was also a bit of a struggle today. Having the motivation to start and follow through and really kind of trudge through some of the projects that I have going became a little bit more difficult as the day went on. So I definitely am going to be anticipating a lot more of that and probably just getting better at including a lot more volume and a lot more water so that way I don't end up as hungry throughout the day. So alrighty, so I was making my lunch, getting ready for day 5 without even really thinking about it. I had a bit of a screw up. I started to snack on some of the roasted sweet potatoes that I'd made to throw into my lunch, and before I had thought about it, I'd had probably a handful and a half of them. So I definitely went over my calories for today. I'm not sure exactly how much. I know that I put about 3 ounces of sweet potato on my salad that I'm bringing for lunch tomorrow, but I'm not sure exactly how much I overate the sweet potatoes that I was just kind of snacking on. Didn't even think about it. Just had a few bites of them and didn't realize it until I was about midway through my second hand, and I go, oh no, dropped them down. So I figured that I would include that in there. Definitely a mistake that I'd rather make earlier than later, and just be something to be more aware of. Just because I'm a nutrition coach doesn't mean that I don't screw up and I don't make mistakes as well, especially when doing my own nutrition and things like that. So I thought that this would be kind of a learning moment and a good moment to just toss in to let you guys all know that, even us folks who work in the industry are not perfect ourselves. We screw up, we make mistakes. So I wanted to hop on here and let you guys know about that flub that I had while I was making lunch the next day. So I'll talk to you and see you early in the morning on day 5.